What up, homeboy? How you doing?
Man, I can't call it, man. Another beautiful day in the neighborhood, as they say.
It sure is. I am the weatherman. Welcome to the Let's Talk Under the Tree podcast. We have Miss Judine in the house. How you doing?
Good evening, gentlemen.
It's all
What's
good.
going on, man? Glad that you could join us.
Right.
Yes, thank you.
We're going to talk about the topic of the side piece. Mr. Jay Walker, what you think about that topic, brother?
I mean, everybody act like it's a bad thing. I think if you know what you want, you can make it work to your advantage. You know what I'm saying? It ain't a part that everybody cut out for, though. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, that is for sure. We're gonna get
That is
down.
true.
We're gonna get down to the nitty gritty. Why she loves it? Why she still practices it? Why there's no other way? It goes back in her family history, but we don't have to say any names. We're gonna find out. It's in your blood. We're gonna have a good time.
Okay.
We're gonna find out if you was raised up with it, all that. No,
Learn from the best. Learn from the best.
that's right. I'm sure you was taught had to keep your mouth shut while you were doing it. While you observed some things growing up, I'm sure. But hey, it is what it is.
Closed legs don't get fed.
Oh,
Mm,
that's what I'm talking about.
mm.
That's what I'm talking about. I am the weatherman. Welcome to the tree, everybody. Jay walking in the house. This Judine, the side piece. One time for your mind. Jay walking, what's the rest?
2 times for your soul.
See you in 33 seconds with Miss Judine,
Indeed.
the side piece.
Kingpin Music.
Okay, we back. A song came to mind, while we was on intermission for you, Miss Judina. Before you do your thing, do you sing this song right here? I'm gonna sing a little clip, or you make men cry when you get rid of them. The thrill is gone. The thrill is gone, baby.
I thought you was going to sing the other song.
Yeah.
What song is that? Let me know. What
I
song you
left
thought he was going
home.
to sing?
You my side piece.
Oh, I know that's right.
Right. I want to go straight to the juggler. How long you been doing it?
Oh gosh, if I tell you that, I'm gonna tell you my age.
It don't matter. You seasoned veteran.
Um, in and out, 20 years, maybe a little more, maybe a little longer.
Ooh.
That's a veteran for sure. That's Hall of Fame. You don't do nothing for 20 years and don't make the Hall of Fame, cuz.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. That's gold jacket status.
That part. That
Well,
part.
you got to play the game. Once you get an understanding of what's going on and what you're doing, you know, sometimes time just passes you by.
Indeed.
Indeed,
I
I
can
agree.
understand that.
I agree with you. So in the side piece game, you told me backstage that you like your man about 350, 325, 6 foot. Yeah. What is it about that size that you just like in the side piece game?
Because they know what they're doing.
As a man of that stature, I won't disagree. You feel me? It's a certain level of security that a woman might find in a man that size. That's what I'm gonna say.
But a man that size, you. Well, nah, I better not say that. I might get banned. Is it a thrill behind this thing? You said you need some bills paid and things like that. Is it the thrill behind it?
Well, when I first got into it, it kind of happened by accident. You know, I remember the first time, like I said, it was by accident. I was at the gas station pumping gas in my car, and I had just purchased my vehicle, probably not even 2, 3 weeks. I still had the paper tags on it. And this gentleman just walked up to me and he says, "Congratulations on your new vehicle." And I looked at him and I said, "How do you know I bought a vehicle?" Not thinking about the tag. And he says, "Well, you have paper tags on the back of your car." I said, "Oh." And he was like, "I can figure out a way you don't have to make those payments."
Mm.
And I said, "Excuse me?" And then I kind of laughed and I said, "Well, do I look like a hooker?" And he said, "I never said you look like a hooker." He said, "But I can make things happen where you don't have to make your card note." And so we exchanged phone numbers. And, back then it wasn't no cell phone and all that stuff. So
Right.
he called me. We went out on a date. And sure enough, he made my first card note for me before it was even due. And I said, "What do I have to do for this?" And he said, "Just be you." So I said, "Okay." Months go by,
That's plenty fair to me.
still doing the same thing. But eventually there is a price. And at that time, I thought I was the main chick until I found out otherwise.
So you didn't enter it
Yeah,
as a side
so
piece.
yeah, so that's how it kind of got started. I was going in the grocery store and I happened to see him. And when I saw him, I got excited and he kind of like did his hands like, stop.
Like,
And I
relax.
was like, "What's going on?" And then I saw this woman come around the corner and grab his hand. So that's when I realized, well, dang, I wasn't even the main chick. So, but he kept his word. He still paid my car note for me. He paid my insurance. I got jewelry, shopping spree, a few vacation trips. But that was a span of maybe 2, 3 years until I got tired of it. Because it changes. They change. They start making
Right.
demands.
Right.
So
Okay.
move on to the next target.
Hey, Jay Walken,
Mm.
with
What up?
a name like Judine, that sound like she got the fire because of that name. What you think?
Man, well, I think that man stepped out. I think that man knew he had to pay to play, and for as long as he did it, she gotta have that fire.
Yeah, you gotta have that fire. Strike a match on it.
Yeah, man. It's easy to be like, you know what? I'm straight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not over a year though. So it got to be something to it.
Hey, Judine, were you raised up seeing other family members being the side piece? You just kind of got accustomed to it. It's in your DNA.
I did, but at that time I didn't know what that meant. I knew people cheated. I seen, my mom do it, her sisters. So I'm not going to say it was a normal thing, but when you're a child, you don't know that things like that is wrong, because things are getting taken care of. Your mortgage being paid, groceries in the house. Your lights are not getting cut off. So
Right.
it's like you think that that's something normal.
Right.
You
Do you think you ever stop? Because you're on the road right now like 666 on dice.
I'm enjoying it right now.
Oh, okay. So you got
You
plenty.
know, I mean,
Go ahead.
hey, I haven't had to pay a major bill in a long time.
Does the fact that you have a certain level of freedom, help you with, continuing down that path? Like, you don't want to be bothered sometimes, so it's cool that they are occupied,
Oh.
otherwise occupied.
Well, see, that's one of the benefits of being a side chick. You know,
Right.
you don't have the demand. It's not like you're going home to that person.
Right.
You know, when everything is over, you go your way, he goes his. You know, at times there were when they wanted to be a little bit more demanding. They wanted a little bit more of my time. But you just have to have that conversation in the beginning. You know,
Right.
especially when you find out, you know, that they are married. So you know that that's not going to happen. You know, so when you find that out, then that's when you put your boundaries down. You know, you see me out in the street with another person, you can't get upset because you go home to another person.
Right.
You know,
right,
so you have to have that conversation. You have to have things laid out. You know, and if it works, it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Some men want a little bit more, even though they have their own wife at home. But sometimes the side, you know, does more than what the wife does. So that's what makes it enticing for them.
That's why they got a side. They
And a lot
don't-
of times it's not even sexual. Sometimes it's just a listening ear. They just want somebody to sit down and, you know, listen to their woes, what they went on at work, and, you know, who
Right.
made them mad, or, you know, or sometimes it might be the wife.
Have you ever been in a conversation with other women, maybe they're side pieces, I don't know, that most men find a side piece because, you know, the man want to get bite on.
Well, I'll tell you this. I was the side to a friend of mine, and I didn't even know that she was married because she had her thing going on, and I was always her scapegoat. And they had a cookout one year at the house, and he just happened to be there. And, you know, he kind of gave me the eye, like, what are you doing here? You know, and she introduced everybody. They was about to play some spades, and they was hooking up with spade partner. And he was her partner, and I'm looking at him like, well, how do y'all two know each other?
Mm.
And that's when I realized, but I couldn't say nothing to her because
course
I'm messing with her husband.
Did that ever come to a head? Did you ever have to address that?
Exactly, you know. And I told him, I said, why did you never tell me who you were married to? And he said, well, I didn't know because she and I worked together. And he was like, well, I didn't know that you and her knew each other.
Mm.
So that was kind of sticky. So I had to put my hands in his pocket a little deeper. You know, just because of that, I had to punish him a little bit.
Well, you about that money.
No, it wasn't about money. It was, you know, like I said, when you're getting into a situation like this, you need to be honest with the other person. So there's no feelings hurt. And you're not catching feelings for the other person. So there is a difference. You know, if you're going to catch feelings for me and I'm in the blind, that kind of doesn't put things on a level playing field.
That happen more
So you have to
times
be
than
honest,
it don't anyway.
you know.
I want to ask both of y'all a question. Actually, I'll start with Jay Walken first. In the game like that, like this, single dudes, you know, or women can be a side piece also. And as far as
Absolutely.
catching feelings, do you think it's impossible not to catch feelings? Jay Walken?
It's impossible not to catch feelings. It's clearly possible to manage your feelings. But you having sex with somebody. If you having sex with somebody more than one time, it's going to be some kind of feeling attached, whether you want to admit it or not. And if you are admitting it, then it's just a matter of how you manage it. So if I go into a situation knowing that this person got a significant other, I cannot expect that they all of a sudden just gonna leave that person because we have a good time. You feel me? Like, that's just part of the rules. I think if you go into a situation knowing that you are a side piece, man or woman, you have an obligation to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Exactly. It sounds cruel, but that's true. And you do catch feelings. But sometimes, unfortunately, you have to put your feelings aside because this is what you signed up for.
Right. I think men, in my opinion, may be the ones, to catch the feelings quicker because even though the man might know that lady have somebody, up front, it's that one noise that he's gonna play in his head, even though he know the rules. This noise right here.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be able to deal with your ego to know somebody else is doing what you're doing. You feel me?
Right.
To that person.
Right.
And then maybe again, sometimes it's not. Especially in a fully adult age range, 35 and up, that person might be stuck in a relationship, and that relationship, like, is different kind of relationships. Some are going to be physical, and they're going to be intimate. And it might be because, buddy got some health issues, buddy work away from the house 3 weeks out of the month, you know what I'm saying? It may be situations there that, dictate how it goes, you know what I'm saying? But again, you can never, once you know you the side person, you have no right to blow that situation up.
Ms. Udine, I think you said you was doing this about 20 years. So in 20 years,
Probably a little longer.
A little longer. Okay, all right, man. We're gonna keep it real here. You under the tree. I like that laugh. It sounds kind of devilish. Do it again. There you go. You heard that? You heard that in that throat, jaywalking?
I did. I absolutely did.
That's old snapping turtle throat right there.
Oh man.
In 20 years, 25 years, how many side pieces have you been encountered with? What you think?
Well, there are two sides to that answer.
All right.
One side would be long term, and I've probably had maybe 4 long term that lasted more than about 3-4 years. And then the other side of it, maybe about 12, 13 that were just fly by night,
Wait a minute, 13 side pieces?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about right
Because
there.
you have to have a difference. Now, there's a difference between a side piece and a side chick. A side chick is usually the woman that's kept. That's the one that's in a long-term relationship with the man. Most of the time, he's married. Now, a side piece, that's just somebody who, when you want to get that little scratch, you just call them up every once in a while. That's not a all the time thing. That's just a once in a while.
Right.
So
it's pretty damn good breakdown.
Between side pieces and a side chick. A side piece usually don't get bills paid. That's just a little piece of, on the side.
Right.
But a side chick is someone, she basically has the same benefits as the wife, except with the paper.
Right.
So you don't see yourself stopping anytime soon. You're on the road now. You said, what you said, 13, 14, you might as well go to 20, keep it even numbers.
Yeah, keep an even number.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, when you have a side piece, there's rules to having a side piece. For me, there's no kissing and no holding hands, no cuddling, none of that. You get together, you do your business. If you want to make plans for a later time, you do that, and then you move on.
Wow.
I might not hear from them for another month or so.
Oh, I like your kind of talking.
But see, that's how you have to do it, because you don't want to end up catching feelings for somebody that is a empty. That's like an empty container. There's nothing there except the physical.
Right. That's
True
all
that.
right. True that. Do you think people who do the side piece, thing, they have a conscience, or in this game you can't have a conscience because I'm sure you're going to take some stuff to your grave?
Oh, most definitely. Probably break up some marriages over that.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, you
But
definitely can't have
at
no.
the end of the day, I'm still human. But you just have to condition yourself to be able to handle the situation. You know, I ran into a few that didn't understand how it's played, and they want to take you out. They want to, no, it's like, no, we don't go to the movies. You don't go out to dinner, you know, unless that's the role you want to play. But keep in mind, I'm not yours. Just for the evening.
Right. Right.
You know, some get an attitude. They might want to call you out your name, you know, but if they're not mature enough to handle it, then I usually just let them go.
Right.
Like, you're not ready.
And that's what it be most of the time. Like somebody
Yeah,
somebody
because they get feeling-
generally want to change the rule. You know what I'm saying? Like everything start out
Exactly.
hunky dory and shit, and yeah, I could deal with this, and yeah, I'll make your phone ring at such and such a time, and then the first
Yeah.
time that
So
you're
you make
not
them
available
cold
for that
curl.
person, the first time you're not available, then it's something else. Why you ain't picking up your phone?
Yeah.
You still don't run shit over here,
Exactly.
so relax.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Or if you make them
You know what
toes
time
curl.
it is. Okay, I'm all about toe curling.
Yeah. Yeah. But check it out. I want to ask both of y'all a two-part question, starting with you, Jay Walken. Who do you think is better at the side piece thing, men or women? Perfecting their craft.
I don't think it's a majority. I think within a group of men and a group of women, there are a small percentage of either one that can be in that role. You feel me? I don't think that more women are successful at being side pieces than men. You know what I'm saying? I know plenty of dudes that you know what I'm saying, that they will abide by the motherfucking rules. You know what I'm saying? I got this shorty that live across town. You know what I'm saying? Her husband drive trucks. He home every 10 days for about 4 days. You know what I'm saying? I wait for her to give me a call. But it take thick skin to be a side piece or a side chick or a side dude.
Yes, it
That
does.
should take thick skin.
Yes, it does.
What do you think, ma'am? Who's better at it?
It does. It does. I don't know if there's a thing called who is better. Now, if you ask the question who benefits from it more, from a financial point, it would be the woman, but it depends on the man. You know, like I said earlier, some men just want you to listen. You know, they want you to, you know, sit there and, you know, coddle them, because they're not getting that affection at home.
Right. In a
He didn't
previous
get his Viagra fill yet.
Right. In the previous conversation, ma'am, you said that you had two side pieces or whatever you want to call it. You were side chick to two people at the same time. I call that double clutching. How do you manage that?
Very strategically.
You ever had to double clutch the same day? Say this.
Well, yes, I did get tied up like that, and I had to use my whip. You know, I'm not going to say it was tough. It wasn't really difficult, but when you have one person that's more of a leech, so to speak, they didn't want to leave. It's like, why are you rushing me? Why are you telling me I got to go? You know, are you expecting more company or, you know? So I had to make up something real quick. You know, I'm having a meeting and I don't want them to see you here. You know, they're going to be asking questions, you know. So I had to make up something so that they could leave, because it was like cutting real close within the hour, you know, before the next person was coming. But for the most part, I try not to do it at my home, you know, because then that's not a benefit for me.
Yeah, that's dangerous there.
You know, you want me to be your side piece, then you're going to have to spend some money, bro.
Right. I heard vinegar works wonders. You must be got a lot of vinegar in your purse, because they call that the snapback.
Oh shit.
Do you ride around with vinegar?
If you know what you're doing, you don't need that vinegar.
You probably have it in the spray bottle.
Oh man.
I mean, I don't know if that's true. That's just what I heard. You got a big bottle of
No,
Heinz vinegar
if
in
you know
your.
what you're doing, you don't need it.
Oh, you don't need it.
No.
Do you think you would change down the road, say 20 more years, or you just having too much fun right now?
More than likely, yeah. You know, you get older, the body isn't as what it used to be. However, the age of the men does change.
Right.
So you don't continue to use older men. It's too much work.
I told you, cuz you get that prescription filled, you're gonna have a rough night.
Listen, that's too much work too.
This the last thing. This the last thing I have. Do you think a lot of men and women who are so-called testifying are side chicks, side men, side piece also?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Ooh.
I'm about to say, hell yeah.
Believe it or
Some
not,
police
a lot of people
people,
think
some
that.
pastors, some deacons. It's all kind of
Oh yeah.
side pieces.
Oh yeah.
Kingpin Music.
Wow.
They say the biggest freaks is in the church.
I believe that.
Well, let me go. Since we on the topic, have you ever been a side chick or a side piece for a man testifying or the pastor?
How can I answer that question? Yes and no.
Okay.
When I first met him, I didn't realize. I knew he went to church because I mean I go to church too, but I didn't know what his capacity was in the church.
Mm.
So when I found out, I felt bad because I was like, wait a minute now, I was raised in the church and we weren't brought up that way. So then he said to me, oh, so now you have morals.
Touche.
So yeah, so I have to draw the line there because now you're starting to judge. We're both out there sinning. So you think my sin is worse than yours?
Right.
You're the one that's standing up in front of the congregation. So that's kind of where I had to draw the line.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, once I found out what his capacity was, I called it off. And he kind of got a little nervous because he thought I was going to put him on blast. Well, to put you on blast, I have to put myself on blast. So he kind of got off a little easy with that, but you just have to know when to say when.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm sure during this podcast you're going to get some questions about, how much you charge. By the hour, by the pound, by the kiss, by the bill.
It's a charge thing. It's not necessarily a charge thing. It's really it's really what the man is willing to put out and what he is not wanting to lose, so to speak, if he is found out. Not saying that that's considered a hush money, but that's just how some men that's just how they would do it.
That's how
in order
men
for
lead.
her not to say anything, let me keep her happy.
That's
what
because
you
that's the
need.
first thing. I can throw that
Yeah.
up.
And
Like
what do you
when you
need?
get beside yourself,
Yeah.
shit, I'm around here paying for all this. I'm paying for all this shit.
Yeah, and
You know what I'm
sometimes
saying?
they
You
see
gotta
that
have
way,
some kind of leverage.
especially- Yeah, you have to, and it works both ways. So I don't really put a price on it, but I do make sure my bills are paid. I shouldn't have to want for anything.
Right. I want to turn this into a little confession, if you'll do it, for the Let's Talk Under the Tree podcast, and I'll turn it over to Jay Walken for final comments.
What you talking about? What's happening?
Could you, ma'am, would you just please confess on the podcast and say that you love being a side piece and side chick, and I'm done. Just say it. Take one for the team.
You're asking me that?
Yeah, just take it for the team. Just admit it. You love being a side piece, side chick.
I do love it. I love being a side chick.
That's
And
right.
I enjoy being a side piece every now and again.
That's what I'm talking about. Jay Walken, what you got? in
What up,
closing,
though?
man? What you got in closing? Break it down.
You know what I'm saying? As long as you all right, shouldn't nothing else matter, because it only matters how you feel about yourself. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
The popular opinion is that side pieces, side chicks, side dudes, they just somehow different. They hoes, they disrespectful. But everybody's needed at a certain point, cuz. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no prostitutes go nowhere over years. Ain't no strip clubs go nowhere over years. Cabaret dancers, bottle chicks, you always gonna have that dynamic. So if you run the dynamic the way you want it and not be a victim, I say do whatever the fuck float your boat. You know what I'm saying? I've been a side dude.
Can I add something
I didn't
to
have.
Yeah, go
Oh,
ahead.
yeah,
Let
go
him-
for
no,
it.
go ahead and finish, Jay Walken. Yeah, you can add. Go ahead, Jay.
Oh, so I would just say run the position that you in. Don't let nobody make you feel no kind of way. If you getting what you need out of the relationship, it don't matter what anybody else think about that. That's what I got.
What you got, man?
I was going to say, being a side chick has actually saved more relationships than it has ruined.
Mm,
And in my experience, I don't remember being the cause of breaking up somebody's home.
that's real.
So,
That's a
Yeah,
very
I
fair
mean-
point.
you know, and you sit and you talk with the man and you ask him, well, what is it that I'm not doing for her? And as a woman, I can tell him, well, first of all, you don't talk to her. You know, when you do talk to her, you're ignoring her or you're on your phone. Give her your attention. That's what she wants. That's why you're not getting the attention. You know, so sometimes I don't want to say I'm a psychologist, but sometimes we help, you know. And
Indeed.
when that happens, I end up losing that man because now he figured out what was wrong in their marriage. And so he no longer needs my service.
Oh, I heard that.
He stopped asking, he stopped demanding her to be who she was. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times it's not sexual, but a lot of times it is. And it's just because you've been married to such and such for so long, she ain't sucking your dick no more. She don't care nothing about rubbing your back. She don't cook no more. She don't do none of the shit that she did in the beginning of the relationship. So you might go out there and get you a side piece to get your rocks off. You got somebody you want to be nasty with. Your wife ain't doing it no more. I mean, it's a million reasons.
Some
It's a
people,
million reasons.
it's a lot of men and women get side piece, side chick, side man, just for oral sex only.
It's plenty of reasons.
Yeah, it's plenty of reasons.
Yeah, that's happened.
Yeah. What I have in closing, I applaud you for coming on here, and I don't judge. You know, back in the days, you used to think about, you know, this lady or man doing this, but when you get older, you realize they're doing the same thing, or have done it, or have done it. You know, so it's
Same thing, different age.
different age, but we appreciate you, Miss Judine. That's a hell of a name, man, Jay Walker. Judine.
I might say it. I might if you cross my toes, I might holler Judine.
Make them
You might be able to get that.
I think you say that well. Say that name again.
What, Judine?
Yeah, that's it.
Indeed. Indeed.
Right.
You want your toes curled, huh?
Look, I don't see the point in doing nothing if the toes ain't curling. That's what I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah, exactly. At least make it worth the trip.
Right.
There you
Right. But we appreciate you. I'm the weatherman, Miss Judine in the house.
Yeah, I appreciate you for having me on.
Yeah, side chick.
Hopefully this will help someone.
Yeah, side chick, side piece. She said she's not stopping for 20 more years. I think that's what she said. 20 or 30 years she got left in her with the sideness. She carries
Phone
it.
roll.
She carries a lot. a vinegar with her in her purse, pocketbook to spray on tight. She got to keep it, keep it tight and right. All right. Jaywalking, one time for your mind.
2 times for your soul. Everybody, y'all be safe.
Y'all be safe. I'm the Weatherman. Thanks for watching the Let's Talk Under the Tree podcast. See you. Wouldn't want to be you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, gentlemen.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Kingpin Music.